Yeah, I have to jump off right when we're done because I am fucking drowning in work, as always. I mean, that's nothing new. Maybe I need to find someone rich.
Don't we all?
You know,
Sugar daddy.
I really just want the paycheck, not really anything else.
yeah, I don't want to have to work for him.
Hello and welcome to Table for Five with no reservations. Take a seat at the table for a fresh, sweet, salty, tart, and pleasantly bitter conversation.
Hello, and thank you for taking a seat at the table. Tonight we are wrapping up 2023. We've had a great year, 2 years in this podcast. We hit some huge milestones. We are excited to share those with you. Seated at the table with me tonight is Kim McIsaac.
Hello.
Rachel Flanagan.
Hey, everybody.
Tabitha Cabrera.
Hello.
Jamie Ramos.
Hi.
And I'm Jen Dunn. Hello, everyone. Ladies, it's the end of the year.
Woot
Can you
woot.
believe it?
Yeah.
Can you believe 2023 has come and gone?
It's technically 2024 today.
I can't even believe
Happy
it.
New Year, people. Happy
Happy New Year.
Not really New Year for us because that would be weird, but it is for everyone listening.
Yes.
Yes. Happy New Year.
I say good riddance 2023. I mean, I don't want to start this thing negative, but holy, goodbye.
Just roll right in, Rachie.
Yeah.
So as a podcast, we did some really neat things. We got together again. We all met again in Minnesota for the More Than a Caregiver event. So we got to be together in person and we did a live podcast, which was the very first time we were ever actually at a table together. So that was a lot of fun. That planning was just, I mean, we've survived a lot of things. And that was one of them. So well done, ladies. But wasn't it fun to be together and do a lot? I mean, that was really cool.
That live podcast was awesome.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I do agree on the duality of maybe the logo is not the biggest thing we've survived. There was the sketchy Chipotle order. There was
I didn't want to mention the Chipotle order.
We
but
had our first in-person fight over Chipotle, which is fine. It's really as a friendship, you have to overcome that hurdle. Fighting.
I mean, I'm pretty sure if us five weren't such foodies, we would have been slinging that sour cream, but no one was going to waste the food. So
we're not blaming Chipotle here. There was a lot of, what do you call that? Like subtextual things that got blamed on the Chipotle. But good.
Yeah, it really took the brunt of it, didn't it? Yeah,
we really should just, the real rule of thumb is to none of us can do anything hungry.
I was going to say, we were hangry.
I mean, that was the problem, really. It wasn't the Chipotle so much.
Although it wasn't, it was kind of disappointing.
I was just going to say,
whatever.
For the girl from Canada who was very excited to try the Chipotle,
Mine was
because
delicious.
I follow all the big food bloggers, I was very disappointed in that. But I'm sure it's delicious. We just opened one really close to my house. I'm going to give another try.
I love Chipotle.
I do too.
I mean, I'm a Taco Bell girl.
Order, and then the kids' meal tricks there.
Yeah, kids' meal is the trick.
You know,
Which I
I'm
still
funny with
use.
Chipotle. It's one of those things that, if someone was like, "Hey, I'm getting Chipotle. Do you want to get something?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." But I would never come up with that for an idea of something to get first. The chicken quesadilla is so good.
What's her name? Kate Karnakanakos. I don't know. She's a big food blogger, and she does Chipotle all the time. So she does what you, Rachel, with the kids. Thing and then all the sides on it. So that's what I had envisioned in my head, and it just let me down. So
this is a lot. We can't even mention food, but also Qdoba
because that's good. Yeah. And I had that in the airport on the way home, and you were right. It was amazing. So now that you've heard about our Chipotle highlights for the year, we also did some really cool things at the table. We celebrated 100 episodes. Ladies.
Yeah, we did do that.
We've now actually completed a little over 150 episodes, and we've hit 60,000 downloads. So to all of our listeners, thank you, thank you, thank you. We would not be here without you, and we are honored that you join us at the table every day. So let's round the table, some highlights and lowlights, and I need some highlights because I'm gray. So let's we'll get back to me after. Kimmy McIsaac, you've got about 1,000 words, 100,000 words of new stuff to talk about. So how has your year been? Highs and lows?
God, I this happens every time, and I'm like, the year's kind of a blur. I don't know. We got to go to Myrtle Beach, and we got to bring Alyssa to see the tigers. I put that out into the universe, and it happened. So that was really awesome. We got a house. We had like a private pool. That was great. What else? Yep, I started writing a book. I started writing a novel. I started on Memorial Day. I thought I would be done by Labor Day. I was wrong. I
Killing it.
just reached 110,000 words though, so that's pretty exciting, I guess, when I'm not stressed out about it. I go from excited to what am I doing? What
Killing
else?
it. That's what you're doing,
In
Kitty.
this new year, we have a wedding coming up in March, so that's exciting. My son's getting married. What else
Kimmy's
happened?
not excited at all for grandbabies, in case anyone's wondering.
I know. I'm just take the wedding first, see what happens. I don't know.
He's
I don't really
also
remember.
asking pharmacists around the world to replace all the pills with placebos. Just whatever. I'm kidding.
Yeah. No, she's not on the pill anymore. So I'm like, oh, I really hope you get pregnant. I don't know what else happened. I don't know. I can't remember. It's all
Well,
a
you
blur.
just put that into the universe, like the tiger. So I think you'll be
Yeah,
good.
that's true. That's true. Yep.
Yep,
I don't know.
amazing.
Oh yeah, I did in October. I took 2 trips in October. One where I met up with Rachel. We went to Edenton, North Carolina, and we did like mom's retreat sort of thing, I guess. That was fun. That was cool. I went to the Teen Wolf convention. I took my daughter to that in Conyers, Georgia. That was awesome. We got to meet a bunch of the cast from the show. It's one of her favorite shows, so that was really fun. It was just me and her, so that's not something that ever happens. So that was really fun. We're just gonna definitely make that a yearly thing that just me and her do a trip together.
Oh, I love that.
But get Kira, she was invited, she didn't come, so she's not invited next time. I'm just kidding. Alyssa's had
Yeah.
a lot of growth in language, but she's also had a lot of increase in anxiety. So it's kind of like taking the good with the bad, I guess. She's not a fan of people coming and going from this house, but when someone's in college, that's kind of what happens. So that's been pretty tough on her.
Just wild, huh?
Yep.
Amazing. What about you, Tabitha Cabrera?
2023 highs. I've gone to so many dang concerts this year. Just so many people. I saw Bonnie Raitt, which was like the highlight. I've always wanted to see her. Both my sister and I cried. George Strait, Chris Stapleton, Ja Rule, Ashanti. I mean,
You
there's
did
just
that
like a
whole
whole
like
bunch.
90s mixtape situation. That was
90s
like
90s concert, Counting Crows. I don't know. It's been like there's a billion. So saw a lot of live music, which makes my heart happy. Nora said I love you for the first time this year, which is
Amazing.
just the best. The best. She's had a lot of growth in language, well, word approximations and singing, especially recently. She's potty trained. Heck,
amazing.
yes.
Woo woo.
Oh, thank God.
Wait a minute. Are we 100% potty trained table?
Oh my
Besides
God,
when
we
I
are.
sneeze. Yes, we are.
Besides when we sneeze.
Yes.
I was like, well, I am getting up there, and sometimes things happen, but
And my daughter was literally potty trained in 4 freaking days, this girl of mine.
That's awesome.
that's
4 days.
amazing.
I told my friend who has a neurotypical son the other day, I'm like, if this was the thing that was easy, if this is the one pass that we get,
Yeah, you'll take it.
I am so grateful. I'm so grateful because the potty training is not fun.
Especially because it's, doing it to two people. So the consistency of it
Oh
is
yeah, it's
tricky,
tough.
right?
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
And Nixon lost his first tooth. He has been doing really good in first grade this year. It was a little bit easier transition to school, so that was fantastic. And it's just the sweetest guy. We were at the trampoline park this last weekend, and this grandma came up to me and she's like, "Is this your son?" And I was like, "Oh yeah." She's like, "He's just so sweet. He reached down a hand to help my grandson out of the foam pit." It was just the cutest thing I've ever seen. I was like, yeah.
Attaboy, Nixon.
Sweetest boy.
He really is just a kind-hearted guy. So that's the kids. I'm having trouble like thinking about this year. What else has gone on? Because it's been kind of a blur. The negatives, this freaking single parenting, working mom, paying all your bills, grind is tough. It is tough, tough, tough. I would not recommend trying to juggle all that stuff. I had a pretty significant couple months with my mental health that was tough, but started therapy, which has been helping, and trying to embrace my life here. I realized that I hadn't really like owned up to the fact that I actually live in Billings, Montana. So, uh, need to start like embracing that a little bit more. So it's been a really hard year, I would say.
A lot of changes for you guys.
Yeah, and just a grind, a real grind. I'm heading back to Phoenix in January for the first time since I moved. So that is going to be
Ooh.
something. Yeah.
That's going to be so good.
Yeah, I think it'll be tough and good. And, I think part of the reason I haven't made a trip back yet is because I wasn't really ready to kind of face that music. I am ready to face the tacos, though.
And here we are again.
I will be eating all the Mexican food my little stomach can handle. I will be
I
cramming
had
that
some of the
down so hard.
Mexican food ever in Arizona, Tab. In
Phoenix
Phoenix.
is the best. Yeah,
The
Phoenix
best.
is the best.
Yep.
So I'm excited about that. I'm excited to see all my friends there and people I've missed and old stomping grounds. So that'll be good. Pretty much it. 2023. See you later. Onward and upward for
On you go.
2024. Yeah. It's been a
On
tough
you
year.
go, my
For
friend.
how optimistic you all have told me I was at the end of 2022 last year.
Nixon is having his Phoenix Rising moment here, just to talk about Phoenix and Nixon, because while he like sent down his little hand to help the lady's grandson out last year, he was using the F word on the intro.
He was.
So while there was this hysterical story about Nixon and you're chirpy, now he's helpful and you're remixing.
Remixing.
Yeah.
I mean,
Amazing.
the good thing about 2023 is there's a lot of lessons learned. I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about strength. I learned a lot about asking for help. I learned a lot about opening up and telling people like this is a shitstorm. I can't handle my life right now. So I have become a lot more like not as fiercely independent to the negative as I have always been my entire life. So that has been a positive, I think, too, in all the struggle. For sure. So it's good. On to
Well,
2024.
I'll say it again, Tabitha. You are a badass, and you do not give yourself enough credit. So
Thank you.
can't wait to see what you do in 2024.
Me too. I am gonna. My goals. I want to travel outside of the country. I'm promised Nixon I'd take him
Oh,
to
you're coming to Canada.
Jurassic World for his birthday. So we're hitting up Jurassic World. He's already on the countdown for that. So those two things are on the agenda for sure for 2024. Things to look forward to.
And hopefully coming to Colorado to go see.
Yeah. Yes.
Wait a minute.
We
Where is
should.
Jurassic Park?
Jurassic Park is in Hawaii. Jurassic World is at
Jurassic
Hollywood
World.
Studios in wherever outside LA.
California.
Yeah, outside LA. So he was set on Jurassic Park, and then I slowly convinced him that we should go to Jurassic World, which is in California, a lot less expensive than traveling to Hawaii, just the two of us. And I think he would be highly disappointed in the Jurassic Park. I mean, it's awesome, but it's not really like what he would imagine in his mind. I think the Jurassic World rides and the dinosaurs and all that stuff is more what he's like envisioning in his soul. So just me and him, which will be nice. Yeah.
Yay.
Little traveling partner. He loves to travel, that guy. So
yeah, Kai's a great little traveler too.
yeah, I
Fun,
love it.
You know?
It is.
Yeah.
Loves the planes, loves the food, loves the all of
I
it.
love plain food. I'm like the only person, but I also love hospital food. But we'll move on. Jamie Ramos, what about your year before I go off on food? I'm really hungry.
I was just going through my old like photos to try to remember this year. So great at remembering. This year was like, there was really good moments and there was like some of the shittiest moments I've had. Hit some lows. We had something pretty crappy happen to us with my daughter. So I haven't talked about this really, but someone reported us to CPS, which is literally, I think, the worst thing that has ever happened to me. It was awful. It all had to do around my daughter, which I've talked about, was diagnosed with a blood disease this year, and she bruises incredibly easily. And I feel like whenever I talk about this, I sound like I'm like trying to justify or make it sound like it really was uncalled for, but it like was incredibly uncalled for. And like whoever did it, we don't know, obviously, because it was I'm guessing, well, we know pretty much it was a Band-Aid reporter at her school, but we have been trying to figure out what's going on a long time with her. And we like acknowledge that she bruises easily. It's on paperwork at school. I had talked to her teacher about it before. And so people knew, and like whoever did this just didn't ask. And it was literally what was reported was about a bruise on her chin, which was just like, come on. Like it wasn't a handprint. It wasn't anything like that. It was just, she fell and hit her chin and she bruised. And it just was incredibly violating. And I will say, like, of all the things you hear about, like how horrible CPS and stuff can be, that part of the process actually, I mean, that was the process, I guess, but the person we had that came and talked to us and all that stuff was incredibly nice. And like, you could tell that she even thought that this was way exaggerated. But man, I've never felt so violated as a parent.
Mm-hmm.
And just knowing me, like I found out by someone calling me to be like, hey, I went and checked on your daughter today. Like just the fact that like someone had went to see my kid to see if like we were abusing my child was just, I don't know, just made me feel sick that like I'd never had an instance where like someone came in and like talking to my child and me not knowing about anything. I just felt like so out of control and like just the most violated I've ever felt in my entire life. That was awful. Like that was a horrible low. It did speed up the process of getting my daughter's blood disease diagnosed. And so my husband tries to look at the positive of that. And I'm like, no, we knew that like we were monitoring this. We knew that there could possibly be something. We did not need this to happen for that. It did like whatever, it did speed it up, but that sucked really bad. And that was the worst. What was it? It was like overall a week of my life, but like
it
I think
feels like
days.
9 months in every hour when
Yeah.
that's what's happening. Like when all you're there with, Jamie, is your anxiety of what this is going to be like. Like the part where they're actually at your door holding the clipboard and you know about it is far less awful than the like angst.
And I'm so grateful I have you ladies in my life. Rachel and Tabitha sat on the phone each with me at different times for a very long period of time. And like, we're very helpful. Tabitha really, really helped me knowing exactly what to do. Like, not to be religious on you guys, but I really believe that you women are in my life for like reasons. And like, that was just like in fruition. Like, because I had no clue what to do. The things I was reading online is like, I would have gone to crazy extremes, but man, I was just someone coming to look at your house and check on your kids. I've never like looked at everything in my house and I was like, our trampoline's partially broken. Do I need to burn it to the ground? Every little thing I
Hey,
looked at.
Rachie, is it neglect if I have crumbs under my oven?
I'm not even kidding. I was like, do I need to like because you just don't know. You hear about horrible things and like people. And so I immediately took my daughter to our doctor to get a note. And luckily the doctor was like, holy hell, this is ridiculous. The CPS lady was incredibly kind and helpful. And like, just, I'm so grateful, but it could have gone like such another way if like people were suspicious or people had, some people just have like a freaking itch on their back that they're like just trying to get after people. And I'm really grateful that none of that happened, but man, it sucked. Like it was horrible. And on, a lot of other things happened this year, which like, so my daughter finished preschool, which was great. She started kindergarten and that transition went incredibly well. Jessie started the 2nd grade. We went to Europe over the summer, which with my daughter's diagnosis, which was the other really hard thing. But obviously that's something that is completely out of our control and just something she was born with, like my son's autism. But that was really hard. It was like major PTSD going through a diagnosis again. I really just, I don't know. There's nothing, it's different than autism, but like a lot of the feelings were really the same. And I just felt so taken off guard by it. This sounds maybe horrible in a way, but I always thought like my daughter's biggest trial in life was going to be like being the sibling to a special needs sibling and finding out that like she's going to have her own thing that she's going to have to battle her whole life and that she's going to have to be really careful her life. Like just everything in our lives got incredibly more fragile. That official diagnosis came in June and we went on our trip at the end of July into August. And I was so nervous about that Europe trip, but I am so glad that it came when it did. Like I got in such a depression, I would say like June, well, really from the CPS call, but June to mid-July, I was so down about her diagnosis that I literally needed to like get out of the country to like recover.
And have such a
Yeah.
big thing that you couldn't cancel.
Yes.
Yeah.
That we were gonna do it and we had to do it. And like there was hard parts about it because like now we had to bring meds of hers with us, and traveling with meds is like kind of a pain in the butt, like liquid medication, I should say, because all that stuff. And then going through different countries where it's like not TSA and you have to figure out how they all do their own things. That was hard, but at the same time, it was like, okay. And that trip went incredibly well, which I feel like God was a little like, all right, I'm gonna give it went pretty. I mean, there was moments, but overall it went way better than I thought. And it really pulled me out of like a really tough funk I was in. So yeah, there was a lot of up and down.
It could have been the fascinators. Next time you are in the shit, James, I'm gonna have you put a feather in your hair with maybe a little tool piece, little veil.
Well, I
am one of
remember
the-
when Jamie was like, we're going to Europe. I'm like, wow. I mean, I never wanted to sound the alarm about how worried I was about the travel with her autistic son. Because my daughter is a great traveler, but at 3.5 hours, she's like, all done. Like literally,
Yeah.
she's like, all done.
There's a
And you
we
limit.
don't get to get out over the Atlantic, sweet
You
cheeks.
went
Sit
to
down.
Europe. So
I will
that's
say-
pretty amazing.
I'm fortunate that my son is obsessed with like maps and places. And it was a good test to us. I said this on podcast before, that we did a road trip that we drove like 10 hours to 12 hours straight, basically, with bathroom breaks. And he did really well on that. And so I was like, this is possible.
And
with-
also business jet.
well, it's like business Jess was there, which was good and bad sometimes. We weren't going to be able to stop, but like the time zones and everything like that, I was really worried about, which got a
Oh,
little
yeah.
iffy, but not too bad. I was the worst with that. I didn't sleep like the first week, which was fine. I mean, not fine, but better me than other people. That went incredible. And I'm so glad we did it. And I feel like it really did like save me in some ways, but otherwise, sorry, I feel like I'm talking a lot. I lost 20 pounds this year,
Yeah.
gained 10
woo-hoo.
back, gained
Yeah.
10 back, but whoop,
Still
I'm
negative
happy.
10.
That's
Still
10 down,
negative
girl.
10.
10 down.
we'll see what happens over the holidays. I'll see y'all in January. We'll be doing some challenges. But yeah.
Oh, today would be day 1 for future James. Should we just say?
Oh yeah,
When we're
sorry. This is
listening?
day 1.
Mhm.
I mean, give me another day. I mean, I'm tired from last night.
That's true.
And I
Tomorrow.
mean, the first is always a lot of good food because you're
The
hungover.
second-
Not
the-
you specifically. The first. I don't even know what day it is. First,
Are
second.
you referring to
Whatever.
Martin Luther King Day holiday?
It's Martin Luther King Day. Well, I can't do Martin Luther King Day, but the day after Martin Luther King Day.
I don't even know what day it is right now. So
Basically, I'm gonna start being healthy
Sometime in
on, like,
January.
February 8th.
This is starting sometime in January.
And then you guys all have birthdays, except for me and
Yeah.
Kimmy. So it's like I gotta celebrate those. I
Date
don't-
to be
February.
determined.
Anyway,
I love that.
2023. I hate odd numbers. I feel like it was a year of like lows, some highs. Overall, my kids grew a lot, but man, I hate that person. Whoever calls me, that's what I'm ending with. I'm still mad about it.
As you
So.
should be.
as you should be. Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, you did a really good job at letting it go and showing up because we all know I am clearly the calmest at the table. So I'm sure I would have handled that just as gracefully as you. Probably not. So well done, Jamie.
And I mean, being me, there was a meeting at the school. Like then you're walking into a building where someone doesn't trust you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Try not to go on about this again. But
Yeah.
but I will say like the principal, all the people we met with after that seemed incredibly taken back by it. They were surprised because I, for one, am very annoyingly involved, especially in the special needs realm area. They know who I am. And then my husband is like on the PTA, all this stuff. Like we are there, assholes. Like I was just pissed. Anyway, I'll shut up about this. I'll cut this out.
You shouldn't
think
cut
it's
it out.
good.
It's
No,
so
no.
relatable.
Keep it. Keep it.
Keep it.
That's funny. I emailed
But
this link to the
also,
school.
if you ever do release this in video, I want you to know that you were very theatrical with your wand pencil. It was like you were casting spells on these.
Oh, if I
murder-
ever wish I was a witch, it would have been this year. would've been
Me too. Me too.
2024, the
We
year
need
of
our, what do they
coven.
call that? Coven. Yeah.
We're
I was
all
like,
making a coven this year, people.
coven.
If this shit doesn't straighten out by June, we're getting black veils and feathers for
Get
our.
me a
I look
big
good in
pot.
black.
What is those pots called? Cauldron.
Jamie's like,
Cauldron.
black is my color.
I love black too. Johnny,
I got some
where's
voodoo ready to
Johnny
go.
Cash this.
Mhm. Well, there's
Well,
our full
Oh, I also
outfit.
got to see you guys, and I loved being in Minnesota with you. Even
Oh,
if we
I
fought,
didn't
but
Oh,
say that
that
either.
right
But that
after
was
the
great.
coven. Just
Even
want to
with
let
the
you know I love
Chipotle.
you guys.
I was
love you
very,
guys. Love our
very,
coven.
very, I was so proud of us. I really just couldn't believe that. It was an incredible experience to be up there with you guys for sure.
It really was
I like,
a very cool
yeah,
moment in
yeah,
time. Yeah, it was
yeah,
neat.
it really
Yeah.
was. Wall to wall people was real great.
Awesome, James. Rachel Flanagan, you want to tell us about your highs and lows?
It's been a whole year. Let's see. Last year I listened to the podcast and I can't quote myself because I barely can listen, but it was something like we've made a lot of progress but haven't gone like made any ground. Like for us, there's still aggression, there's still sleep, there's still struggle, there's still eloping, there's all this stuff, but we've gotten better at it. Like
Mm.
we're getting better at it. I don't know. I know that everything is temporary, and with that, I feel like in some ways this year was sort of hitting stride. I will say that though we've had 0 cops and I had 3 moms trips, you know, this like Minnesota gathering with you guys, which I only went one town over, but it was trippish because I suitcased. Then I did the Moon Beach retreat, and then I did Edenton, which sounds like a different town than the one Kim talks about because she puts extra vowels in there. But it was Edenton, North Carolina. You know, like in Flamanville, it's typical to maybe have a day with 4 deliveries, and we had some of those. I have this table for 5 that kept me going. But basically, this year's highs have really been lows, and they just seem like a mix. I could say that Billy and I are getting stronger, but that's rooted in the fact that we've got 2 separate homes now for Seely. Like again, no cops, but we had an inpatient stay. That was mine, not hers. That was like the mom's retreat that insurance pays for. Basically, you know, as listeners of the podcast, you know that this has been like a tumultuous time, and you can hear in my voice whether I've got some sparkle or some like a shake in my voice. And it's just not been the easiest for me. I think I put everybody else's needs above my own for so long that I didn't know who I was trying to help. And I like crumbled. So in November, I could not get safe. There wasn't like a way for me to manage at home, and I went to the hospital for help. Then I navigated weeks and weeks of therapy, and I think that 2024 will be a better for me because it'll be more focused and I've got more tools, and I've had to like face the music that, you know, that whole like you need to take care of yourself and you can't pour from an empty cup bullshit that I just thought was bogus. And like, who has time for that?
Who has
Well,
time for that?
I just did not make time for that for so long that you know, there I was like on the floor. So, anyways, 2024 is about taming my mental health, like that inner bitch, and really just learning to love and honor myself. I'm a work in progress, people.
And you're doing a great job.
Yeah.
You know, it's like breaking stigma, falling apart, surrendering. And like Tab said, receiving help is like something. And another thing, just because I want to share the good news to the people, I no longer have a menstrual cycle. People, the hysterectomy should be what you do in 2024. I
Oh
just
my
want to let
God.
you know
Yes.
there's nothing better than no periods ever. I did buy my kid. This is atypical. I have no use for the parts, but it's over. It's over for me.
That is-
You know, it's been a year when a hysterectomy is just a footnote.
What the hell? Yeah. Oh, and another thing that happened when you have a full mental breakdown, but you have all these little pockets of community, is that all of my networks combined. So I can no longer struggle in the way that I got to doing because you guys have my cousin's number and my cousin has my friend's Minnesota's numbers and you know what I'm saying? Like it's all super mixed because I fell apart that deeply. And I think that that'll help me in the future, even though it's wicked
Yeah, and there's
embarrassing.
something powerful about saying I need help. I mean, there just really is something powerful about speaking those words out loud instead of containing it all within yourself.
Yeah.
And I know that strength gets thrown around for us all the time, but I think that piece of it takes so much willpower to just like surrender to the hard or like the not making it through enough to like voice it to someone else is pretty powerful stuff. So I'm proud of you.
Thank you. A life-saving measure.
Me too, because what's the S word I always say to you? It's not
Sustainable.
sustainable. Yeah. So I'm proud of you.
Yeah,
Thanks, I'm
sometimes
working on it. I mean, just to put the props out to the autism moms that are listening, I'm in group therapy, like intensive group therapy. And while all these people are having their issues and talking, and then like I'm like, oh yeah, the floor is mine. I'm gonna just tell them what I think about this tool or how I can apply it in my daily life. And the eyeballs are white like freaking saucers staring back at me like, is that your life, girl? And I'm just talking about Tuesday, just how my kid's a streaker, or how like coffee cups are flying, or how chairs are flipping. They're like, oh, well, that sounds like stress. Anyway, so we're doing one hell of a job. Also, resilient instead of strong. I'm done
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, resilient.
I
That's
was
a
going to
better-
crack a joke.
That is a
Just get
better word.
sleep.
I agree.
Make sure
That
you
is
get
better.
your sleep.
You know what? I got so triggered at the get your sleep. Here's some charts. I can't even. I had to walk out of the room. I had a booger bubble. Like it was dramatic tears. It was the ugliest cry I've ever done.
Jen,
That's
I
how
was
was
like,
your-
let me call. I was going to call on myself.
Jennifer
Since
Dunn,
I'm hosting,
how's
I call on myself.
what's your what's your year been?
It's actually been, I think it's probably one of our better years. I found for me, I found my footing with my daughter, which sounds so bizarre. You know, we've historically I've talked about the aggression, and I think we all go through the sleep stuff and we all deal with the aggression. But this year, I don't know what it was, and I've talked about it. I feel like I stand taller. Like when I say I no longer tolerate it, I know that I can't control it, but I can control how I react to it. And I can control how I handle it. And for me, this year, there's been a big shift between who is the boss and who is not. Now, let me be clear, she's always the boss, but
Hey, quiet down with that.
yeah, but she's like, you know, like just the other day hit the wall because I snagged her hair, but she immediately said, sorry. Like she catches herself now. She's
Mhm.
aware of it now and aware of that I mean, I've never taken an iPad away, but I will threaten to take an iPad away, right? Which I've never done before either. So for her and I, that part's been really good. We went back to California this year. We tend to do that in the summer. She really wanted to go to Mario World. It's amazing, James. Like it's the coolest thing when you come down that escalator and you see it's like you're inside the game. It was amazing.
Oh my God.
We did that. We had a lot of fun doing that. I obviously was in Minnesota with you ladies. That was fantastic. Dieted, not dieted, dieted, not dieted. It's like an ongoing thing with me. Took up a little exercise this year, but I'm sure by come February that'll be over. So don't even get too proud or excited. Yeah, my daughter started high school this year,
Oh yeah.
which was a big deal for her. And it's not really going anymore, but she started, which is
Starting is huge. Starting is huge.
yeah.
She can start again whenever she wants.
Yeah, I was laughing because I also listened back to last year's episode, and if our listeners remember, I had a very big incident with a spider, and then I had another one this year with the fireman because set off my house alarm, which also has a freaking smoke alarm when I didn't know was attached to it, so it actually dispatched the fire department, and not one fire truck came, freaking two came,
And they wore their shirts. Dumb.
yeah, and the back of his shirt said, was it cooked? Or crisp, like his name was like crisp or cooked or something. I was like, well, that's ironic. Yeah. So I had another incident with the people. It was great. They were fine. Yeah, just kind of just a good year. My daughter loves Christmas. I don't know where she gets that festive from, but yeah, it was it. I would probably say this is the first year I wasn't like, get me out of 2023. I mean, I'm glad we're, new year, but yeah, it was a good year for my daughter and for me. So yeah. So happy
Love
New Year,
that.
friends. Yeah.
She could have almost called the police the other night, but me and
Sweet
Rachel
baby
talked her
Jesus.
down. It was very
We-
similar to the spider. Just listening back to the episode from last year, I'm like, this was very
I know.
similar.
I
had
got
to
triggered
Rachel
too.
trying to get me killed.
Shut the up. Do you know what you did? You want to tell our listeners what you did? She looked at 84.7% of her garage with clear eyes and saw no intruder. And then she made up a scenario where in the remaining 13% there was murderers, Nana's Costco thieves, car
Costco thief.
thieves, home
Okay,
intruders.
let me tell you what happened. I backed into the sensor of the car door. So when they had to come out and service it, he's like, well, someone's hit the camera. I said, well, I don't know how that happened, sir. but you can charge that lady the $160 service fee. Anyway, so he just adjusted the camera and then the door's fine. But the night before, my garage door technically didn't
The night
lock.
before is between the banging into the goddamn camera and the repair of the freaking camera. Okay,
Can I
So
carry
when
on,
I went
then.
upstairs, the garage light was on we have a 3-car garage bay. And so then I was like, well, someone opened up the door. Clearly they're hiding underneath the
Through
car.
the garage door. They opened up the
Cool.
so this is how, but
Clearly.
this is like what is going on because I don't think Tabs or Kimmy knows this. So we're on the phone. I did not know about the car hitting the garage door. I didn't know about that. I think Rach might have known. But I'm coming in with Jen's like, the garage light's on. Like, you guys know if your garage door opens, there's a sensor light that comes on when it opens.
Which would startle anyone, by the way.
Yes, but we're having this conversation. She's like, someone must have broken into the garage. Someone had that's the only reason. And then I find out a few minutes in, Jen's like, well, I did hit the sensor today with my car. And I'm like, okay, clue number one, that might be why the light's on.
Yeah.
And then she's like, and the door's like stuck a little open or something. And I'm like, well, that might be why that light's on. And then we keep talking. She's freaking out. She wants to call the police. We're trying to, like, maybe she should call her friend to come check out the house.
He's like, we're like, call Chris. Everybody, all the listeners know who goddamn Chris is. So
My
we're like,
handy
call
dandy
Chris.
hands my pictures.
Call Chris. And she's like, oh, I already tried, but he's just gotten off an airplane.
She considered having him come straight from the airport.
Oh my God.
And then we're talking, and then she's like, and I'm like, Rachel's like, just go in and look. And I'm like, and she's talking about blocking her door, so if they come in, they can't get through. I'm
Like
just
Neil
block the
McIsaac
door.
security. Yeah.
And then we come to find out that she had already looked in the garage.
And
Yeah, I didn't look
didn't-
under the cars.
He thought he was under.
what's into her?
So a skinny
Kim just
murderer.
peed her bed because that shit is so funny. She just said with a straight face a week after she survived, well, I didn't look under the cars.
I survived.
So the only place the murderer could have been was hiding under the car.
Oh my God. They could have
I
been
mean-
in Nana's Costco pile. They could have.
Could have startled the strongest of persons. People.
No. And you
Rachel's
were
like,
not
well, I
taking-
just think you should go up there and check. I'm like, oh, but there could be somebody up there.
And right before this, I think me and Tabs we were on the call, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to bed, and Tabs is like, me too. Tabs jumps off, and of course this all happens right before I jump off, so I can't leave my friend hanging. So I'm on the
No.
call an extra like hour late at night.
Because I was scared. I'm
Kim
like,
and I were
"Please
there
don't
this
get
point
off."
last year. Kim and I were there. And then that time she just hung the F up. This time I
And
don't
I'm
know how
like
we done it.
checking my security cameras like crazy, like the front, to see if like there's any
That's
movement on
the
the
other
front
thing,
cameras.
people. She
Yeah, my
has
house
like
is
a
pretty locked
Whitney
down.
Houston bodyguard situation of cameras out there. Okay.
Which I think
Nothing
is
got it.
all this stuff makes it worse because she gets more paranoid about it.
Oh, heavens to Betsy.
Have been on
Anyway,
Yeah.
people, she's
many-
made it to 24. She's made it to
We
20.
have been on many
I'm-
late night calls where Jen's like, I think someone's in my house. And
Yes,
the funny
stop.
thing is, every time we're like, maybe, or we're like,
No, I've had it.
"What's
No,
happening?"
I'm like, you're
Never-
gonna survive.
I want to live close to Jen for many reasons, but really just to go to her house when she's freaking out to be like, there's no one here.
Yes.
Or it's a spider web. That's
We've
all.
cleared the
You-
prep.
Just would jump out and scare me on the outside cameras somewhere. I'm on to you.
Guaranteed.
Oh yeah, we would.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah. Well, that was my 2023.
Can I just say that I last year in our 1 year or in our last year's roundup, we joked about the 12 days of Christmas, and I just want to let you guys know I did not get the list done before we started recording, but we have completed 12 more months of recording, probably 11 safety threats, 10 flights to Case Event because Jenny Penny had to take 4 special guests. Oh, I'm sorry, 9 special guests outside of the storytellers and within the series peeps. We have 7 new series this year. We have 4,000 whistles. Not that I counted them, but because I think that's true. We have 3 standalone episodes, including Swim, Sensory, and also Intimacy. There's
Yeah.
also a part 2 of the Tired as a Mother and 1 live recording. Yeah,
Aw.
it's amazing. 54 more episodes. And we featured our kids. By the way, we haven't even talked about how we had Temple frickin' Grandin on this
Oh,
year.
This year we did.
Oh,
Yeah.
I sure did throw her name in an IEP meeting this year when they mentioned something. I said, well, actually,
I was
I'm
talking to
assuming you
Temple
know who
yesterday.
Temple Grandin is, right? They're like, yeah. I go, well, I actually interviewed her, and here's what she says about that. And they're like,
Yeah.
Take that.
and rewind it back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway, we're
Yeah.
great.
I love that,
Yeah.
right?
I love that
Yeah.
too. I love
We even
looking
had our
back.
dang kids on this year. I
We
mean,
did. That was
what
so
could we
That
even
was
do in
Amelie's
2020?
opening was like my favorite.
I
Yeah.
freaking loved that too.
So freaking cute.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
what are we excited about for 2024?
Goddamn survival.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still on the hunt for a husband. I mean, I know that some
Mm.
people are not on the
Oh,
hunt for a husband. I
when I
mean, I don't
logged
know if I
in,
really
I
want
Jen,
one.
when you find your husband, can you make sure they're rich so then I can come move in with you in like a
Yes.
dual level
Yes.
situation?
Because I don't actually really want a husband. I don't want to touch me. I don't want to do anything for anybody else.
Oh my God, this is what I'm going to do in 2024 or 5 or 6. Platonic domestic partnership.
I like
That means that you have a lady wife
Compound.
and then you can just get a camper in the backyard for the, what's that called? Conjugal visits.
A lady wife, which
camper.
always makes me think
Maybe a
of Carrie
she shed.
Cariello and her
A
A
sister
she
wives.
shed
For
for
what?
the banging. I'm just saying, like, I could have a wife. I could get a wife. A sugar wife? No less.
Sugar wife.
Yeah.
Power situation there. Yeah.
Then you
Yeah.
can just,
We know what Kimmy's hope for 2024 is a little baby whenever it's out.
no more dark
babies.
and stormy.
Two babies, that book and a real actual baby to hold.
Baby.
Yes. Oh my
Okay.
God, the book is
Two
coming
babies
this
for
year.
2024.
Yeah.
Ooh,
So
I
it was
fell
a
in love with the werewolf in 2023 and I didn't even remember.
What is it?
I said I fell in love with a werewolf in 23.
And not to give away, I'm not going to give anything away in the book, but I hear the name Amelia all the time now. And I just
know.
think
It's
of
so
Kimmy's
weird.
book.
It's
Yeah.
the most popular name of like 2022 or something.
And
Oh, I did not
not
know
that
that.
it's about
But I,
Amelia, but my daughter's been howling like a wolf for about 9 months.
That's funny.
Neil's dad has like a newish girlfriend, like, and her name's Amelia. Like, she's not
Oh.
one in 2022. So
I hope not.
and then Neil did a job for a lady, and her name was Amelia. I go, that's so bizarre.
My bestie's daughter's name's Amelia.
There's
Well,
a
they're
name
destined
in
to
Emily's
all
class.
find a Caleb.
You know when you like, and I love my daughter's name. I wouldn't change it, but when you name your kid and then you hear a name after, and Amelia was one of the names after that, I was like, oh, that's such a beautiful name. There's a name for Amelia.
Hazel.
Oh,
Hazel was my Weimaraner's name.
Oh, I love
I'm
that.
still, you know what? I think that we nailed it with Sealy. She is a
Yeah.
Sealy. She couldn't be anything else, I don't think.
That's Nora B. Nora B is 1000%.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Nora B, yeah.
That's
Guys,
funny.
are we going to record until 25 or what the?
Yeah, this is gonna be. We're just doing one long episode this year. That's
You're
it.
welcome. We're going 24/7, people.
Yeah. So we have some exciting
should-
things coming up. We are going to offer to our subscribers. We're going to have some bonus episodes we're going to be releasing. We're going to do some hot topics. We're going to do some after dark episodes. Oh, we're so naughty. Not that kind of episode.
Remember
Well,
when
wait.
one of our names? So fun fact, one of our names was gonna be Moms After Dark, but then
That would be a whole ass thing. We would need
Don't
that.
Google
explicit.
that.
we rethought that.
Don't Google that.
Don't Google moms after dark. It might lead you down a path on the
A
internet.
dark path.
path. Yeah.
A
Dark and
Well-
stormy path.
Dark and stormy. Yeah. Well,
Mhm.
again, everyone, thank you so much for being here and joining us at the table every Monday. We appreciate you all so much. Huge shout out to Jamie Ramos for being the best editor on the planet and dedicating so much time to making
Yes.
this happen and come out every Monday. So thank you, Jamie Ramos. Jesse.
Hey,
Hi.
Jess. Hi, Luigi.
I was gonna like you look exactly like I was gonna say Mario, but it is Luigi.
Green. Oh, bye, bud.
Go to bed. That's not gonna work.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, does that work? I should try.
But I
that.
want to say too, on that note, I'm very proud of us. We made it through another year. Episodes
Yes.
every Monday. We've done it.
Yeah,
Yeah, every Monday. Man.
it's remarkable,
gosh.
really.
Maybe
Again,
next year we'll
we're
have
in-
all the 12 days of Christmas.
We're in 2 different countries and 4 different time zones, and we make every Monday work. So
And every
Thank you
Monday
for
from
joining
about
us.
6 p.m. in any given time zone, we go, what time is it? Is it T-3 hours? No, that's only me.
yeah. So stay tuned for this year. We have some exciting things planned, and we cannot wait for you all to come along with us. So, ladies, it's an honor as always to be at the table with you. So let's do this 2024.
Here we
Have a
go.
great day, everyone.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for joining us at the table for this episode of the Table for Five No Reservations podcast. If you are enjoying the podcast, please remember to rate and review us wherever you're listening. If you'd love more content from us and to be part of our community, make sure to become a subscriber. You can find the link in the description of this episode. Join us next Monday for more, and while you wait, follow us on Facebook and Instagram. See you next time.